What's up, guys? This is Dave from Airsoft Obsessed, and we're here with the very first edition of My 2 Cents XL, where we will answer all of your questions, whether they be airsoft related or not. Joining me today for the inaugural episode is Delta J. Welcome, Delta.
How's it going, guys? Thanks
or
for having
J,
me.
whatever. I don't know if there's a
either
Mr.
way.
Delta, Mr. J. Anyway, so we proposed to you guys in a previous video to submit your questions. So we are here today to answer those questions, whether they're good questions or lame questions. We're going to find out really quick here. So let me pull up my my trusty cell phone here. And you know what? We're just going to go down the line.
Sounds good.
So Julian Cien wants to know what first competitive airsoft gun. I guess what was our first competitive airsoft gun?
Let's see. My very first airsoft gun, surprisingly, it was actually a WE gas blowback M4. One of the open bolt ones. Yeah. I just I really like the realism of it, and the recoil and all that stuff, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's cool. My first competitive gun was a Tokyo Marui M4A1. Nice. I bought it off of eBay and paid way too much when you look back at it. I paid, I think, close to $275 for this thing. And it was back when Marui was a plastic body, a 3-piece outer front barrel in the front, so there was all kinds of wobble. There was no rail, nothing like that. So yeah, I mean, you look back now and you pay like $60 for one of those guns these days. So, all right, well, there's first question out of the way. Thank you, Julian, by the way. All right, next one. Feta Murray wants to know what our opinion is on knife kills in airsoft.
Knife kills in airsoft.
Yeah, he apparently carries a steel Recon Tonto, but have nowhere to put it, so it ends up in my pockets and other stupid places and ends up getting lost. Any suggestions on a sheath or something similar? So I think maybe a two-folded question. One, what do I think of knife kills in airsoft? I don't know. I'm probably too fat and big to get that close to people. So I've never really felt the need to have a knife on me.
Yeah. Usually if you're that close for a knife kill and you get behind someone, I mean, with me, I've always had the bad luck of stubbing my toe or something.
I was gonna say, if I get that close, I'm like, boom, 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 and shoot somebody. But
there's gonna be a tree branch, or I'm gonna get too excited. I'm like, oh!
Yeah, exactly. I'm afraid, I'd be one step away, step on a BB or something, and they turn around and smoke me. Because I think, in airsoft, I have been shot up so many times badly trying to give somebody else a break, especially on a surrender job. I mean, you and I have both played it Game Pod, and there's nothing against Game Pod, but I mean, I've rolled into buildings where people aren't paying attention, yell surrender, and I just get met with a full auto burst,
Yeah, and a lot of the times it's unintentional. They're like, "Oh, sorry, you scared me."
Yeah,
but it still hurts.
Yeah, even today, my first 3 deaths of the day, 2 of them were from friendly fire. Yeah. All right. So anyway, well, thank you for that question. Sheath-wise, since I've never run one, I don't know. I would probably suggest looking at maybe something custom Kydex. That way you can maybe put it on your belt. Because if I'm running a knife, I'd probably want to put either on my belt, in the back, or at the bottom of my my plate carrier, on some molly there, so you can kind of pull it out that way. I don't think I'd want it anywhere else, because I think how often are you going to use it? Yeah,
I actually ran just a fake blade. It was from Benchmade. So it had its own custom nylon sheath, and I actually had it on my cummerbund to the side, and I just had it hanging down, mostly just for looks. I mean, that one was actually a little pointy, so didn't want to try hitting anyone with that.
All right, well, thank you, sir, for that question. To the next one, Paul Dickey. Is it true that a man with big calves is like a man with big feet? Paul, you already know the answer to that, and you've probably stared at my calves way too many times. So we're just going to skip.
I know I have.
And go on from there. Don't skip leg day, everybody. Don't skip leg day. All right. RC Kickers wants to know about my Russian side. Well, short, sweet, and to the point. I'm first-generation American. My father and his family immigrated from Russia to the United States in the early 50s. My mother was an adopted child to a single parent, so I don't really have any family or even knowledge of a family on my mother's side. So all the family that I have, all my cousins, aunts, uncles, all that good stuff is Russian. So that's what I most, obviously identify with. So answer your question, first generation Russian, my father and all of his family, all my aunts and uncles were all born in Russia. All right, good question. Hopefully we're not gonna go too fast through all these things. Here we go. Tim Martin wants to know, I'm going to AMS Copperhead 2 and was wondering how to get into a dam mission, and would you recommend running HPA at Copperhead? Funny you mention Copperhead 2. We're both going to be at Copperhead 2.
Yes, we will be.
So hopefully we'll see you there. If you see one of us, please come up and say hi.
Definitely.
I may look scary because I'm ginormous and people have told me I'm hairy, but I'm actually a fairly nice guy as long as you're not like stealing my food or anything. But let's see. So he wanted to know dam missions. I've been lucky enough to run in a few dam missions in my time at AMS games, and they are a ton of fun. I mean, it's like an airsoft game just kind of boiled down just for you. So you get a lot more like special effects, realism. I mean, I love dam missions. If I go to an AMS game and I'm not lucky enough to have gotten into a dam mission, I kind of leave feeling like, dude, that I missed out on something.
Yeah, I was super bummed out when I didn't make it to the Iron Horse one because they had the subway and everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
don't remind me.
Yeah.
But yes, and dam missions, if you want to get into one, it is an extra fee, and that's something that you pick up when you buy your ticket to the game. And there's a very limited number of dam missions, so if you don't kind of get on that early, there is a possibility that you could miss out. I would recommend maybe getting like 4 or 5 of your friends, and you guys all kind of go in on one together.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is a lot of fun, and if you have night vision, definitely bring it, or maybe even look at renting it, because a lot of the dam missions happen in low light, and to have night vision is certainly a plus, but is double thumbs up to the guys at AMS on their dam missions. Okay.
And he also asked about HPA.
Oh yeah, sorry, good call.
See,
good.
yeah.
Getting old here. Running HPA at Copperhead. I have been to 5 or 6 of them, and I've actually run HPA at a couple of them. If my recommendation is if you're going to run HPA, either be able to bring your own refill tank, or make sure that you're going to one that Polar Star is going to be at, because the guys at Polar Star, they're awesome dudes, and they'll always bring extra air with them. And if you're running one of their systems, they'll refill your air for free. So like I've run HPA at Faded Giant a couple of times because they make the trip down, and then, all I have to do is bring one tank, and they keep filling it up, and I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
So I don't know. Have you had much experience running HPA?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I've always wanted to build a DMR platform with HPA because it's super quiet.
Yeah.
But I haven't had that chance yet.
Yep. So anyway, hopefully that answered your questions. All right. So Alpha 23 wants to know, what's our favorite loadout you or anybody that you know has put together? I'll let you take this one. I'm talking too much.
Let's see. I mean, the favorite one that I did was probably for Broken Home 5. It's just, standard multicam loadout, but the LBX uniforms, those things are super comfortable. So I didn't have to worry too much about breathing or anything like that.
Breathing's overrated anyway.
Yeah, everyone loves to run around and feel like you're in a swamp.
Yeah, I love the video. But hey, I've got room to talk. My favorite loadout, I mean, I've done a lot. I've been playing since 2001. The last few years, if you pay attention at all, I've certainly kind of gone the way of the Russians type of stuff. Mainly because it's different. When you play the game for so long, you kind of have to keep it fresh to keep yourself interested. So I got a lot. I can't lie. I really enjoy the kit that I'm running lately, which is like an FSB direct action kit. Where today I'm running, the Spectre, or we'll run the SKWO with a Fort Defender 2 Molly vest, and just that's kind of been, I don't know if that's a cheap answer, but what I'm running right now is kind of my favorite.
It's sexy. It's sexy.
He's not lying. He's not lying. Okay, a couple more, and we'll put this one in the books. Let's see. Shattered Systems 1989 wants to know, what would the best knee pads for GamePod Combat Zone? You play there a lot.
I do. So as far as knee pads, I used to run, I forget what brand they were, but they were really big circular ones. Those are going to be the best if you want to do sliding, just because it takes up so much space. I haven't ran knee pads there in a while. If you can find the ones that are super big, that aren't oversized, but just perfect for your knees, then I just go with those. It's whatever's most comfortable for you, really.
Me, honestly, I really never wear knee pads because I'm 6'4", 6'5", so for me to go down like that and pop back up, it's just it's a lot of work. So I usually tend not to go to a knee unless I have to, and if I do, I'm not running and sliding and all that stuff because I might break a hip or something. So there you go. This guy knows. Let's see here. Let me pick one more, and then we'll put this one in the books. Ooh, the Dirty Dirt McGirt wants to know what's my opinion of all the dumbass questions. Yeah. You know what? There was one here. Let me find it. Here it is. Rex Nitro. Is the air stock worth getting? And we'll finish on this one because I have one. I like it a lot. If you like running HPA, which I know a lot of people do, one of my first complaints about it was being attached to a tank and a hose. Clearly I'm already a bigger guy, and to have, a big 68-inch cubic inch tank put in a hydro pouch on my back, trying to, butt up against a wall or whatnot, just kind of makes my already big profile bigger. And that's the last thing I need to do. So anyway, leading up to last year's Faded Giant, I actually specifically built like a Mark 18 with the air stock, and I got to tell you, like, it is awesome. It's like having the capability to run, a nice little CQB gun, but with the performance of Polar Star. And AMS games now are semi-only, and in my opinion, it's really hard to beat a nice Polar Star in semi. I know there's been a lot of hoorah about you burn my patch, I'm going to light you up at 4,000 BBs a second, but my style of play, which is usually semi-auto, I mean, it's worth getting. I know it's expensive. The tanks aren't very big, but if you get like the proper nozzles and pop it with the poppets and the banjo valve and all that stuff, you can really make it air efficient. The one that I built and had a friend of mine kind of upgrade the internals on, we could get about 1,000 shots out of one of those small little 13-inch cubic tanks, which is really pretty good, and that's running obviously under 400 feet per second. So if it's within your budget and that's the type of play that you like to play, I would highly recommend it. I don't know if it really works if you're going to like speed soft, because if you're going full auto, you're going to burn through that air very quickly. Not getting into science, but the way the banjo valve works and all that stuff, you're gonna use a lot of gas if you're going full auto. But if you're using it more of a milsim, or you're playing more tactically where you're going semi-only, definitely worth it if you can afford it. All right, so guys, thank you very much for sending those questions in. I know we didn't get to all the questions, but please, if you have them, airsoft related or not, please post them in the comments below. I really want to thank Jay here for joining me on the first one in our opulent studio here, which is up against a building under a tree. We spare no expense around here.
He actually grew the tree just for this video.
And I'm sitting on a piece of plywood with nails sticking in my ass, and that's not even exaggeration. So I appreciate each and every one of you who decided that you had nothing better to do than watch one of my videos. I greatly appreciate that. And again, comments or questions in the comments down below, not there, but down underneath, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. Doesn't have to be airsoft related. So until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you.
Take it easy.